Arlet Gatot or Arlet Khalid both look pretty good.
Yep.
You know, for the first time, it feels like ONIC is ahead in some of these drafts. Like, they're actually the ones putting pressure on what TLPH needs to pick here. They found the magic answer, which is that YSS and that Lunox, and immediately puts them in this position of, oh, wait, we're now with the wheel.
Arlet chip or Arlet chip would be good as well, but I think the safest play is Gatot Kacha and then the Arlet. Alice might also be an option for Team Liquid, but seeing as they already have the claw, they typically would want to go for something that can actually allow them to have a lot of plays. There's the Gatot Kacha, and now they go to Rizla. I have been talking about this hero for the past few games, but now it's picked up. There is a potential for another shred here for ONIC. They can go carry, which
it is a bit risky going up against the Farsa, but other than that, carry is pretty good. Skylar just dodges Fed the S-Strike. You know, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
Just dash away from the meteors.
Ruby's the safest option, but I feel like
I still think you keep it safe. I think you just go Ruby. I think you just rely on Kyrie and Loopy to output the damage.
I'm okay with Ruby. I like Ruby. She's actually pretty nice.
But they can also go Uranus, actually.
This is a Gold Lunox. Gold Lunox. Again, this is
worth it.
This is why I bring it up. I mean, here's the thing.
Take it away, and this is about as Uno reverse card as you can get through the draft here. That was great planning that we saw towards the end of the draft. I like it too, man. Again, this is still a do or die situation for ONIC. Yes, they had a dominating previous game, game 3. Can they keep it together here to get to a game 5?
I agree with the panel. Naisu, Leo, they were a step ahead finally in the drafts against TLPH. TLPH, I would say, they've been really dictating the entirety of the series in game 1, game 2. Then game 3 came along, a motivation booster, and somehow it also motivated Adi and CW because finally we're seeing some of those creative picks come back for ONIC. Already JP having to use Revitalize.
This is very emblematic of their performance in game number 3. You try to steal away these little resources from JP, and you take away the early playmaking advantages Liquid is known for. Sans,
the wall
flying away.
The last one didn't land, man. But again, that's a flicker and a Revitalize now.
Just gonna say another resource taken out. You know, I'm sure Sanji was a little worried there too himself. We'll take a look at the emblems here for this match again across the board. You still got that Terizla there, a little bit of reduced cooldowns for him, but still nonetheless the same tanky Terizla. I know Wolf was mentioning the Terizla plus that Gatakacha there, so they come through, and this is going to be mainly that front line that obviously helps the Fredrin in the hands of Carl Tizzy. This is going to be a much different game for Carl Tizzy, but it's not a foreign game, man. He's played the Fredrin so many times up to this point.
In this very stadium with a Fredrin in his hands, he won his 2nd World Championship. Let's talk about the gold lane matchup. A genius stroke here by ONIC to switch it up. We could have sworn mid lane was going to be Lunox.
Oh, well, with the turtle up, they're going to go for the control here. So both gold lane are staying up top, but Keyboy not having the tech charge just yet. They're going to have to fight for this.
Shocker from Kai. JP already using Revitalize very, very early on as Carl holds onto it. Sanford is getting poked down to a quarter of his health, but it goes and regions back to half. Carl claims the turtle for free. ONIC do not want no smoke.
Our panel referred to this in a couple of matches back, talking about how Liquid was playing very Filipino in the Swiss, but now they've reverted back, and to their advantage, look at this. They push ONIC deep into their tier 1, and I don't know how this whole readjustment of pace is going to affect the Sky Kings.
That's why I love best of 5s, man. You know, when we get into a best of 5, you see very different kind of play styles and obviously compositions throughout those games, and that's been the story here so far. Now that we've got to game 4 with this, again, this is a bit of a different game plan for Team Liquid, and they can go ahead and play for mainly objectives, at least for right now, because, again, their ultimates that are going to be available for fighting into those objectives, especially when we get to Lord territory, is going to be a little bit tough for ONIC, I feel like, to deal with. You got to avoid the penalty zone, you got to avoid, of course, the feathered airstrike constantly, and then trying to get away or run away from an AOG from JP are all part of the plan. But even on the flip side, ONIC has a lot of utility themselves. A tech charge, man, that's probably been one of the most impactful ultimates we have seen throughout M7. This Grok is sometimes unstoppable, man. And so in the hands of Keyboy, that's who you want it to be with. Keyboy is known to being a playmaker, and when he gets roams like this, these heroes, you can pretty much count on him to go ahead and set things up for ONIC to shine on.
All Liquid has to answer back is, in my opinion, that penalty zone. You can't rely on the AOG. The AOG is for re-engaging. The AOG is for saving the back line sometimes. Fortunately, OHEB has a Purify, something that they really didn't rock in the series prior. That ended in 11 minutes. So now Liquid understand, oh, ONIC is playing with fire. We have to respect what the Sky Kings have on the Tempo Breaker game. Turtle spawning, it's Lutpi just scouting out. I wonder if he knows that there's 4 here.
Yeah. It has to be a double whammy with the AOG, right? It has to be a penalty zone first and then maybe an AOG.
Turtles up. Looks like it could just go in the hands of TL here. They're looking for something else.
Yeah, they're looking for a trade, but Sanford's able to escape there with a flicker out, even with the tech charge coming in. 2 turtles now for Team Liquid.
Taking it slow.
Yep.
Liquid is trying to step on the brakes and the clutch to change gears at the same time, while ONIC are just going by. Yes, we're not getting any kills, but in my opinion, if this continues, this should benefit the cavalry. Because again, they're waiting for OM to come online.
This is the, the old way of doing things, basically, when we were back in the utility meta.
The old way.
Yeah, it's the old way, right? It's going back to how things were with the Fredrin. Not the unbreakable they were looking for.
Respect, dispersion, rotation. JP can be caught here, has the AOG, won't be cancelled, and he gets out with the Revitalize as well.
All right, so he tried to make a play, not going to happen, able to get away, but also pop the Revitalize again, so there's a whole lot of that happening where, ONIC gets something out. But again, look at this. The gold lead is pretty much gone. It's not really anything big.
Dissipated.
It's dissipated. Dude, this is the thing they want to watch out for, though. That first item from Skylar was the Divine Glaive. He's keeping up with OHEB in terms of gold, farming up. So if a fight does break out, Skylar is actually going to have enough damage on this Linux to kind of burst the right targets down if he needs to. So that's something why we're seeing why Team Liquid kind of wants to take things. OHEB.
Damage. Oh my god, he just popped OHEB!
Big damn!
Mountain Shocker and the last shot from Skylar picks up first blood for ONIC, and they transition into a possible conversion, but it won't happen because Sanji was there. Lutpi try to steal red tree from Carl.
Not even surprised. The most surprised person here is OHEB. He wasn't expecting Kyrie to be in that brush, and there's no amount of lifesteal nor regen from Demon Hunter Sword, which he doesn't even have yet at 6 minutes, that could save you from that kind of burst.
That's why I was saying, Skylar picking up that Divine Glaive is just devastating to deal with. He is going to have some poke, though, but still, he's got to be cautious, and that's the whole game plan here for OHEB. Scale up, get to that Trinity. Usually, we have been seeing that before that 10-minute mark for them, but with this turtle coming up, AOG.
AOG with an airstrike now. Oh, so much damage on Sanji. He tries to go for the dispersion, but it's not enough to get him enough shielding to escape there. Sanford now holding the lines, has the penalty zone. Lutpi trying his best to create an angle for Kyrie to walk up now. Mountain Shocker lands on Sanford. A traceless back. Carl TZ on the turtle. This looks free. There's no way for ONIC to really walk in unless Keyboy gets a big tech charge, and that won't happen. Perfect turtle for the GOAT.
A little bit of a silver lining on Liquid's part, given that they got 100% of the turtles. But still, that gold lane situation is just getting worse. They lost that tier 1, and they're going to have to find something else on the map. Keyboy, you're not going to survive. Tech charge gets a shield, he's fine.
Keyboy got away. Skylar caught in the midst of it all. Pops into Brilliance in time as Lutpi holds them down. Penalty zone from Sanford.
Looking for a taunt, not going to need it. Skylar falls. Liquid happy with what they got.
Well, they force a fight or a response from ONIC. They get a couple of flickers down, and right now TL looks to continue to put pressure under there and between the tier 1 and tier 2 turret. But man, I'm surprised that Keyboy, for the most part, survived that. That was a kind of aggressive play from Sanford, but that's kind of what you expect here, especially when you're on a Terizla. So it's back to the basics right now as OHEB goes and farms up and continues to scale up.
Liquid now kick it into 3rd gear. They're moving up in the world, no longer on scouting duty, again, despite, I think, one of their major problems, and they blast Skylar out of the sky!
What is going on here? The amount of burst. No, Sanford.
Tech charge. Getting on Sanford. It's Kyrie who picks up the kill, so it ends up being 1-1, but a taunt in the bottom lane lands on Lutpi. OHEB doesn't want to go in.
All right, what I'm saying, better that Liquid surprises ONIC, because Liquid has, compared to what ONIC is playing with, zero vision. What can you do? Throw a BMI into a bush? randomly throw spells out of Sanji, send JP, send Carl Sanford to check these bushes. So no, compared to the Mount Shocker, compared to the random spells Sans can throw out, even Skylar's relatively free. As long as you know that there's no crowd control in there, you can brilliance your way out of safety. So Team Liquid, vision is their #1 enemy, and I think for the past 8 minutes they've been battling that. Lost once again, that kill onto OHEB.
Yeah.
They deserve to do that. I think if they continue down this path, they should be fine.
Well, Lord's up here. Look at the rotation happening here on this side, though. They want to potentially try to play. JP's charging up the Unbreakable.
Uh-oh, Kai gonna be caught. Diversion trying to get him away from the airstrike there on Kai. He gets taken out by JP in time, but the diversion saves Sans. Ludwig goes in alone. Carl TZ on the Lord.
They tried to get him out of there with the diversion, but it was just too late. And so now this opens a window to take the Lord here.
A play with 100% conviction. Liquid were all in on that one sequence, and they took Kyrie out. The flicker from Sanji and the Feather Airstrike was enough now. Carl TZ able to cure the Lord. T-Boy just setting it up. Did not have to commit. Tech charge out of there.
Great plays. Again, this is what TL looks to do when they can capitalize on getting a pick off, on making a play across the map, and they made the timing perfect for them. Now, this is just a bit of a lead for them, 2,000 gold ahead. They've got the Lord in their favor. ONIC lineup will still let them defend it pretty well and potentially set things up around Keyboy's tech charge. Now that it's available, they just have to play this right. And part of this too, again, with Skylar being on this Lunox, that was flexed throughout the draft. You know, you're gonna have to start to pay that stock pretty much. And he's got damage. They clear out the Lord. You can see that they deal with it well. They take the diversion. They go for Sanford.
Penalty zone on the AOG there. Sansa able to flicker out the safety before the Unbreakable gets to him. Sanford taking low. Keyboy, no tech charge. Gonna be locked down. Appraiser's Wrath having to flicker out. Keyboy. They'll keep their Holy Shields alive for now, but that's a big cannon minion to take the Holy Shield down in the mid lane.
Liquid wasn't playing ONIC, they were playing the map, distracting the Sky Kings from defending and stopping the forward momentum of those minions in mid. Now top lane gonna be up next. Thankfully, they got a minute left on Holy Shield, so bottom and top should be safe. OM commits Grand Theft Orange. There really isn't much that this squad has been doing except for taking down turrets in the past 11 minutes, so they're fine. Liquid, they're comfortable where we are in the mid game.
This is a great pickup here now for Skylar, as I was mentioning. He's got his Holy Crystal now with the Divine Glaive, so he's going to be a pretty big threat in terms of damage, but look at the gold gap between him and OHEB. OHEB has been farming like a madman. Just absolutely. So OHEB's got his Trinity. JP providing that vision, like we were talking about, it's crucial for TL's lineup to work, and they want to put pressure around this purple buff.
Now this kind of vision is aggressive. They're coming in!
Penalty zone of the AOG. Ludwig goes in for falling. Sarmu gets disintegrated by OHEB! And now it's Keyboy holding the lines. That's a 10 charge landing on 4, but a Purify comes out as Carl's able to taunt him down. Keyboy taking low, going down. OHEB with a blazing duet gets 2 as Kai trades for it with a tier 2.
2 kills for Kiel1. Up top, Kyrie making some leeway for ONIC ID, so nothing comes for free. The long lane is taken care of. ONIC ID, despite the 5,000 gold gap, I'd say can still dance. I think they can still partake 30 seconds from now because of the singular factor that is the Mountain Shocker. And of course, the diversion, because if in case they were losing, they can just skedaddle.
The diversion is always going to be a big component that any team that has a Luyi can play around with. We're going to look at the replay for this. Again, penalty zone starting things up. OHEB popping off the damage like we mentioned. And this is, unfortunate for ONIC because they just didn't have the members for this fight, right? You have Kyrie pushing into what he can. Sans earlier was part of this. Whoa, Lord is up. They're going to fight for this before.
And for penalty zone into the back. Kyrie able to trace a Sanford again, jumps in, and that's the hammer down from JP.
JP closing off the exit. Keyboy with a tech charge. That is a desperation move as ONIC retreat.
Blazing Duet canceled earlier. They're still able to kite back, but they've lost Kyrie. And look at the timing. It couldn't have been worse for ONIC. The Lord spawns in the Land of Dawn.
Almost clairvoyant like game sense on Sanji. One might look at the angle and say, why would you take the Feather Airstrike far away that way? But no, he was reading where ONIC was going. And that was almost just as important as all the damage of Kyrie that took him out of the equation, that keeps him going. Lord for ONIC! What's not gonna be done? Liquid takes it and take down Keyboy too.
Buy one, get one, Lord, and a free Keyboy.
Oh man,
In the lane.
that's unfortunate. For, you know, ONIC now, Keyboy up in about less than 20. They're going to have to face the fact that these base turrets might fall here.
Actually, what were they doing down there?
I have no idea.
Was ONIC hoping that maybe Kyrie could catch up and then they could snatch a little free Lord? They're inside the base, mid lane cracks.
In the base here, Lord is making his way down into that mid lane, and Keyboy will be up for this defense. Does it all end here with almost a 9,000 gold lead for Team Liquid as they approach the base?
OHEBers Ludwig holding in on the Lord right now. They can still go for the defense. They have Sans, they have Skylar, they've dealt with it now. Feather airstrike in the bottom lane. That's going to be OHEB going for the siege as Tech Charge gets used defensively for Keyboy. AOG! Kai gets out with the Traceless. And that's it. TL say, all right, let's back.
Slowly does it as Liquid is aware that there is no wave up top to push for the inevitable 3-lane push. The waves have not equalized, so they're gonna go look at this Lord coming up in about 100 seconds, a minute and 40. And this is correct, resources for ONIC, but they're just not in a position to find those fights anymore. When was the last time we saw Sans pull off a diversion that actually did something?
Honestly,
I don't even remember it. Not
yeah.
a single time, I feel.
He tried. He tried to save, you know, a couple of his teammates here and there, but ultimately I feel like Sans has essentially not been able to do much on this Luigi pick. You know, yes, there's been a couple. Oh no, Kyrie, is he going to be in trouble here? Loopy's there around the corner.
The taunt is short. Sanford doesn't want to go for the penalty zone, but look at Sanji.
That push up top.
Airstrike 1, 2, Skylar! Brilliance! And that's it. I thought for some reason Sanji was going to flicker in there to look for the kill.
Seen it too many times.
The very last microsecond he could have clicked the brilliance, yes, but Sanji knows better. Again, that's 120 seconds compared to the 20-something that is the Feather Airstrike, so just play for the Lord.
And that's the thing, man. Sanji just picked up, his last item was the Divine Glaive, and that's why you see that amount of damage coming through. He's been very good at landing those feathered airstrikes and zoning out. So now it's just ONIC. Like, if they're in this situation where they're 9,000 behind, this Lord is coming about 30, you have to start to think, are they in even a fighting position? Most likely they give up the Lord and they try to base defense here. But I'm just worried about this lineup because so far it hasn't shown much. I mean, they've been reacting to what TL's thrown at them.
Lidby, caught on the taunt, and the hammer swings of Sanford. He's still very tanky though, as long as it's not OHEB or Sanji, he can take the beating.
Major problem for ONIC's lineup. Again, I hate to say it at 16 minutes, but I'm sure our panel alluded to this one way or another. There's very little range. ONIC can only really go mid to short, and then they gotta go long to reset with that diversion and then come back in. So unless they can find that, unless they can force Liquid to fight in that short of a range, in the mud basically, Liquid's not having any of this.
Yeah, that's why this is such a risk here. Lord looks like it's just going to be quickly worked and secured unless Keyboy tries, but no. Tech charge though.
On Sanji, this is going to be Sans. Oh, he hits the wall. Penalty zone locks him down. Sans with a mistake call. Teasy with a punish. Kai with the traceless backwards. Blazing duet from OHEB.
That's a Boy Scout attempt on Skylar from the angle, but Ludwig falls. Liquid finding them, dropping them one by one. Keyboy up next.
Just one member left for ONIC for the Sky Kings, and it's Kai. Can he do it? No, he cannot. Sanji silences ONIC, and they silence Tennis Indoor Sanayan. The Sky Kings fall beneath the charge of the cavalry marching through the Golden Road.